And hopefully we're live this time. We ran into some hiccups and everything you could think of along the way. I'm Joe.
I'm Ashley.
And welcome to our continuation of our Summer of Justice streams. We are continuing Phoenix Wright today with, was it Case 3, Day 2?
Yes, Case 3, Day 2. I'm sorry. I'm so excited it finally worked.
Yeah, we ran into some hiccups and some issues along the way. Here's to hoping it's working fine now. I know our YouTube screen is undergoing some choking at the moment, but everything seems fine in general. So, if you do the honor.
All right.
If you notice, we have some spiffy new stuff going on. We have one second. We have a crawl along the bottom, and we have the chat window. I'm going to wave hi in the chat window. And I'm going to share this out while Ashley gets the game started.
All right. So where we last left off, for those of you that are unfamiliar with Phoenix Wright and have not played or seen the other cases that we've streamed, Phoenix Wright is a young attorney in his early 20s who has just passed all of his exams. His first case was defending his friend. His second case started off as trying to find the actual murderer of his mentor and boss. He first had to defend her sister who was wrongly accused, and then he was wrongly accused. And now he is defending the actor Will Powers, who plays the character the Steel Samurai on a popular children's television show, and it pretty much looks like Will Powers is guilty. We have no great evidence that he was not at the scene of the crime. There's actually photographic evidence of somebody dressed up as Powers' character walking towards the scene of the crime at the time. So there's very little evidence. So we're going to have to bluff our way a lot in this case, which is my favorite thing to do. And we'll see if we can get anybody to slip up on the stand. I'm pretty sure we'll have to cross-examine Wendy Oldbag, who we met last time, who is a super old lady who hates our character Phoenix, but loves detectives and other authority figures, so that's pretty interesting. It's one of my favorite games that was originally on the Game Boy Advance in Japan, and then it was on the DS here, so we're just going to go ahead and get started with it. This has been remastered, so it looks very nice, very anime-esque. Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Will Powers. I've been trying to get Joe to read some of these voices, but he didn't want to.
I'm the guy in the chair.
You're the guy in the chair. So now I have to do terrible accents that are inconsistent for everybody.
You've been doing it pretty well so far.
The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. I'll do a faux British accent for Edgeworth, because I always picture him as being kind of British. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth, your opening statement, please. The prosecution will show the court that at 2:30 p.m. on October 15th, the defendant, Mr. Will Powers, killed fellow actor Jack Hammer in Studio 1 of Global Studios. It is impossible for anyone else to have committed this heinous crime. The evidence presented during the trial will all point to this fact. I see. Very well, I would like to move on to some testimony. Mr. Edgeworth, the prosecution may call its first witness. Very well, I call a most familiar face, Detective Gumshoe, to the stand. Now, Gumshoe is dumb.
Dumbshoe, more like.
Super, super dumb, but super lovable. So he'll probably slip up and accidentally give us some stuff. Detective, if you would briefly describe this case to the court. Yes, sir. I'll explain with the guide map here. I should probably give him a southern accent, because, that's associated with dumb. We can say that because we're from the South, technically.
Shouldn't enforce negative stereotypes.
That's true. I shouldn't enforce negative stereotypes, but so easy. To understand this case, it's important to grasp the layout of the studio. See? This here is the employee area. I mean, it would be weird if I gave him a surfer accent. He doesn't look like a surfer. The actors did a run-through of their action scenes during the morning here. This is the main gate to the studios. The security lady that works at the studios was here at 1 p.m. on that day. Past the security station, there is a gate, see? Past that are the studios. And here it is, Studio 1. This is the scene of the murder where the body was found. Now, on the day of the murder, October 15, there were only 3 people here. The victim, Jack Hammer, the defendant, Will Powers, and a young woman, the production assistant. I love how she doesn't even have a name, and neither does the security lady.
Isn't her name like Penny something?
Yeah, her name's Penny, but don't even give her a name. Come on now, don't be jerks, guys. Named all the male characters. All of the production staff were in the employee area until noon. Then after lunch, the victim, Jack Hammer, went to Studio 1. Right after that, at 1 p.m., the security lady got to the guard station. Now jump ahead to later that day, 5 p.m. The production staff came to Studio 1 to perform a rehearsal. Needless to say, the rehearsal was cancelled.
Nah.
The time of death was 2:30 p.m. The samurai spear found lodged in the victim's chest was the murder weapon. That's the case in brief. Anyone like to hear that again?
The case in briefs would be if...
Should I listen to that whole thing again?
I mean, he's going to go through it again.
I think we'll just skip it.
Maybe? I don't know. It's up to you.
I think I can probably remember that. So the murder weapon was a spear? How medieval. Samurai spear added to the court record. Your Honor, this case is quite simple if you ask one question. And that question is, what did the security lady at the guard station see? Understood. Let's call the security officer to the stand.
More testimonies, huh?
So I guess we didn't get to press.
I guess we don't need to press gumshoe.
Yeah, I guess we don't. I don't remember. It's been a long time since I've played this case.
Yeah.
Will the witness declare her name? Look at her face.
Oh, God.
Matt, aren't you a handsome fellow? Which is a different voice than I did for her last time.
Weezer.
I'm afraid I'm a bit flustered. Your name, please. Oh, dearie, no need for you to be embarrassed. Just call me Grandma. Oh, God. I think we just landed in
watching
Rose territory.
I've been watching
from Golden Girls.
I've been watching so much Arrested Development the past couple of days. So I just can't think. I can't help but think of like the weird relationship Buster and Lucille have.
Oh, gross.
Yup.
Your name, please. He lost his British accent there because I was doing a bad job.
Because he gets angry. That's
Seems why. Edgeworth has a bit of trouble getting his witnesses to say their names. Wendy Oldbag, dearie.
Gross.
So just call me Grandma. So when I was young, I was an old bag. Still, other children would make fun of me, believe it. But there was this boy, the captain of the church. He called me old bag. Well, I just cried.
Oh my God, Edgeworth.
So yeah, she has a rambling tendency. Objection! I object to the witness's talkativeness. Objection sustained. The witness will refrain from rambling on the stand. I was just getting to the good part, dearie. Perhaps we can get to the testimony. Now, the witness was stationed at the main gate on the day of the murder, correct? Yes, see, I was. And to get to the scene of the murder, someone would have to pass by you. You know your stuff, dearie. You may begin your testimony. She sure is one heck of an old bag.
Hey, if anyone's out there want to say hi in the chat, make sure to. I'm here watching it myself. That's why I can't actually participate in the voice scene.
Whatever.
I'm watching the chat. It's a very important job.
On the day of the murder, I arrived at the guard station at 1 p.m. Poor old Hammer and the rest had been doing a run-through there since the morning. I had some errands to run that morning. Anyway, it was 1 when I got to the guard station. I was at the main gate from there until 5. Now the murder happened at 2:30 p.m., right? Interesting to me because a certain man walked right by me at 2 p.m. It was Powers. That man right there, and he was heading toward the studio. You should tweet about how people are missing out on my epic voices.
Oh, I plan on cutting it and making a series of small Twitter videos to share.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
Why? No.
Gotta have trailers for our channel.
Sure. But you can tweet that now. You saw the defendant then. The judge is also, like, very easily swayed by all the testimony. He's like, well, there's nothing wrong here. Very well, let's begin the cross-examination, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor.
I think he spends more time on his beard than he does his legal thought process.
Okay. On the day of the murder, I arrived at the guard station at 1 p.m. So we're going to press everything, because she'll get mad. So up until that time, anyone who wanted to go could go into the studio. Well, there wasn't a security guard at the gate, no. But the main gate was locked, dearie. You need an employee card key to get in. Right, the card key that I have, that he stole from Powers' bag. So what she's saying is no one who wasn't supposed to be there could get in. That narrows the suspect list. Was there anyone at the studio when you arrived at the guard station? Poor old Hammer and the rest had been doing a run-through there since the morning. A run-through? They were working out a scene between the Steel Samurai and the Evil Magistrate. They got the basics figured out by noon and were to use the afternoon for practice. Rehearsal was supposed to start at 5. That's why poor old Hammer went to Studio 1 in the afternoon. So Powers was in dressing room sleeping when he was supposed to be practicing.
Thanks for popping in, Cal. Have a nice evening and have fun at work tomorrow.
Talk about a laid-back hero. If there was a run-through in the morning, why did you only get there after noon? Well, I had some errands to run that morning. What kind of errands? Oh, well, you know.
No.
Answer the question.
Oh, you know. No, I don't.
Actually, I was watching poor Hammer and Powers, observing, you know.
Wasn't the spirit broken?
Observing. Weren't you supposed to be at the guard station? What is that? I told you I locked the gate, didn't I? I did my job! I'm not sure your boss would see it that way. Anyway, I always watch Hammer's run-throughs, always. I never missed one in all my years. Wow, I want to see a Steel Samurai run-through too. You could quit being a spirit medium and take up guard duty. Not a bad idea. And that's his little assistant Maya, who we saved in the last chapter. Anyway, it was 1 p.m. when I got to the guard station. Did you see the victim then? Did I see poor old Hammer? Nope. He'd already gone to the studio before I got back to the guard station. Tell us what happened next. I was at the main gate from then until 5 p.m. So you were watching there the whole time, no breaks, not even a second? Of course, I am a professional, you know, which contradicts what she said earlier. Mm-hmm. Oh, are you criticizing how I do my job, whippersnapper? That's another one of her favorite words.
Whippersnapper?
No, it's just after seeing you eating those donuts in the guard station yesterday. I can watch the gate and eat donuts at the same time.
Can you?
Snipper whapper? Snipper whapper? Old windbag is losing it, Nick. Why don't you raise an objection? So the witness was on duty through the afternoon the whole time. Very well. What did you see? Now the murder happened at 2:30 p.m., right? How did you know that? Oh, I have my ways. That overdressed young detective told me. Ooh, what does she mean by that? She want him to not wear that coat?
I mean, it was hot outside, right?
I fed him some donuts and he talked and talked. If you ask me, that detective isn't cut out for his job. Edgeworth, who's in charge of the detective raises, apparently.
I mean, I'm sure his voice carries a lot of weight.
Poor Detective Gumshoe getting ratted out by a security guard. Interesting to me because a certain man walked right by me at 2 p.m.
Yeah, hold it.
2 p.m., you're sure? Sure as spit. Well, who was the man? Really, you should try not to get so excited at your age. You might strain something. Now, don't get your skivvies all in a bunch. I'll tell you who it was.
Can we trust you saying who it was?
It was Powers. That man right there, and he was heading toward the studio. Nick, doesn't she seem like she's enjoying this a little too much? Windbags love gossiping about other people's misfortunes. Sounds about right for the age demographic, unfortunately. Can't you get her kicked somewhere else? On the day of the murder, I arrived at the guard station at 1 p.m. Poor old Hammer and the rest have been doing a run-through since the morning. Let's see. Alright, so now I gotta find one of these dumb statements.
So many dumb statements.
To present some evidence. Alright, so we should probably present the photo because...
Yep. All you saw is the Silver Samurai.
Exactly.
Sorry about that. I accidentally unplugged the headphones. So you might have heard our side of things for just a moment.
Alright, good the music stopped. Let me get this straight, old bag. Miss Old Bag. You've been saying since yesterday that you saw Mr. Powers, correct? But you're talking about the man in this photo, aren't you? Just a moment, Mr. Wright. Let me see that photo.
Shouldn't it have been in, evidence?
What is this exactly? None other than the Steel Samurai Defender of Neo Old Tokyo. Miss Oldbag? Is this the Mr. Powers that you saw? Of course, didn't your mama teach you any sense, sonny? Anyone can plainly see that's Powers, right? No, they can't! Oh man, Edgeworth, aren't you not supposed to help our side? But thank you, I appreciate it. Look at his little eyes twitching. Look at his pupils.
They are vibrating at a rapid pace.
Well, I mean, I wonder. True, Mr. Powers does play the role of the Steel Samurai. But that doesn't mean Mr. Powers is the Steel Samurai. I know that. I wasn't born yesterday.
Sure, acting like it. And we also know you weren't.
No one in this court is accusing you of that, Miss, Witness. He's having trouble calling her old bag, apparently. However, you do not have proof that the person in this photo is Mr. Will Powers, do you? Nosy old man. Of course I have proof. What? Huh? Even Edgeworth is surprised? The prosecution would like to ask the witness, please make known all the information in your possession ahead of time. How was I to know everyone would be so nosy? You should be ashamed of all of you. Anyway, I showed that photo to the young detective. He told me this isn't any good as evidence, pal. He didn't even give it a second look. What? Wow, old Windbag has left even Edgeworth speechless. She's good. Let's hear about your proof then. Alright, the man in the photo. I never say anything I don't mean, mind you. That morning during the run-through of the action scene, I saw Powers trip and fall. He broke one of the props. It was a big mess. Apparently, he sprained his ankle pretty bad. Now look at that picture. You can see he's dragging his leg, see? Clear as day. That's how I knew it was Powers. Happy? So he had sprained his ankle. Very well, Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. She's gotta be hiding something. I'll press her until she squeals.
Sweet.
Creepy. I mean, I know I made her sound like she's from Louisiana, but...
Or just the South. That's like such a generalized Southern accent.
But do we gotta really make Deliverance's references, Phoenix? I mean, no. I never say anything I don't mean, mind you. Whippersnapper! I haven't said anything yet. I'll have you know I'm not pointing fingers at anyone behind their backs. Everything I've said is on the straight and narrow. The up and up you today always whining about each other pointing fingers is enough to make it old. Mr. Wright, please, for all of our sakes, try not to upset the witness. I think Edgeworth has met his match. That morning during the run-through of the action scene, who was present at the run-through? Well, let's see. There was Powers, he's the Steel Samurai, then poor old Hammer, the evil magistrate, and me.
Ugh.
And what exactly were you doing? Observing, just observing. What about the assistant? Oh, she was off moving backdrops around and such, so she didn't see the run-through then. I saw Powers trip and fall. Trip and fall? Yes, and to think he's supposed to be the Steel Samurai. What a laugh! So Powers sprained his ankle. I helped make it better for him, of course. You helped make it better? I kissed it where it hurt.
Gross.
Let's just skip over that part, shall we? Where was the assistant then? Oh, her, she was cleaning up backdrops, I think. She didn't know about Powers' ankle. You may continue your testimony. He broke one of the props. It was a big mess. He broke a prop? Sure did. His own samurai spear. His samurai spear, the murder weapon? Luckily, I was there with my duct tape to fix it. This strikes me as a significant detail. You better write this down on the court record. Samurai spear updated in the court record. Apparently, he sprained his ankle pretty bad. Was Mr. Powers' ankle badly sprained? Not so bad that he couldn't walk around. He went to his dressing room to rest up after lunch. Thus the nap. Anyway, I saw him dragging his foot when he walked. Dragging his foot, okay. I think we have heard enough. Haven't we, Your Honor? Well, there is one thing that bothers me. Which is... where is this Steel Samurai costume now?
Ooh.
Actually, well, we couldn't find it. We're looking, though. Anyway, that's not important. The witness did see the Steel Samurai, yes. And it is clear that the person in the Steel Samurai suit was Mr. Will Powers. I suppose that's right. Why you always gotta believe him? He's the one making up stuff.
Because Edgeworth is well dressed and presents himself in a very professional and efficient manner.
Are you sure?
Yes,
Your
I'm very
Honor?
sure.
Object. Wait and see what happens. Oh no, we're objecting.
You always object.
And then the case failed. Hold it right there. We keep talking possibilities, but we have to agree that this photo shows the Steel Samurai. Nowhere in the photo can we see Mr. Will Powers. The defense has a point. Thank you for listening to us.
Right?
I also wonder if someone else not caught on camera could have killed Mr. Hammer. We have to consider that possibility also. Always with that little finger wag. Then allow me to remove that doubt from your mind, Your Honor. Will the witness continue her testimony, please? No need to ask twice.
Gross.
Witness account continued. The time of poor Hammer's death was 2:30 p.m., true. The only person I saw go to the studio before then was Will Powers. No one else went there. If they had, I would have seen them. So if no one else went to the studio, Then it would have had to be this still samurai who did it. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. The time of poor Hammer's death was 2:30 p.m., true? How do you know that? Didn't I just explain? I gave donuts to the young detective. And then after some rubbish about it being a secret, pal, he told me everything. I see Detective Gumshoe shares his fellow officers' fondness for donuts. The only person I saw go to the studio before them was Will Powers. Are you absolutely sure? Oh, quite, Sonny. Nobody suspicious looking passed by at all. Nobody suspicious looking? Right. No one else went there. What about before you got to the guard station? You mean before 1 p.m.? Why, everyone was in the employee area before then. And I locked the main gate so no one could get in.
No one, huh?
Not to mention, if they had, I would have seen them. Old Windbag sure has balls, or well, you know what I mean. Old Windbags have a way of skipping over important details, after all. Or for that matter, entirely forgetting them. How convenient. Something for you to look forward to, perhaps. Oh, that's a diss. Alright, I need to press that last statement that I didn't press.
How would you have seen them if you were observing the practice?
Right, I did it again. I would have seen them. Okay. Dee-lee-dee. 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 Okay,
this
one. Are you sure? The witness has answered the question. Anyone going into the studio had to pass by the witness. That's right, Sonny. You let him have it, edgy boy.
Ugh.
Edgy boy. Oh, God.
That's interesting.
Okay, now I gotta figure out which of these things I need to object to. Let me look at, let's see. The only person I saw it. No one else went there. If they had, I would have seen them. It has to be this statement. Alright, so not our badge. Time of death. Guide map of the studio. Card key.
Photo.
Okay, this is terrible.
Okay. The time of death was 2:30.
Uh-huh.
Check the map.
Okay.
The gate's there.
Yeah.
The main gate. But...
Oh man, this is hard, because this will probably be the first time we'll get a strike because I don't know what to present. Okay, maybe it's not that statement. I would have seen them.
2 p.m. Can you check the coroner's report too?
Yeah.
Okay.
No one else went there.
Have you pressed everything too?
I think so. Alright, the only person I saw go to the studio before them was Will Powers. Maybe it's this one?
Yeah, that's the only thing I could think of.
Press the photo again?
I don't know. That's the thing.
Yeah, you can see how we have that bar up there? That's how many times we can mess up before we lose the case. Okay, because yeah, obviously that's not a contradiction.
Yeah.
The only person I saw go before then was Will Powers. So she didn't see Hammer go there. No one else went there. If they had, I would have seen them. I mean, maybe it's this that I have to press, because clearly somebody else.
So, I'm thinking it is the photo.
Okay.
But let's go back to the statements and check real quick.
Okay. Alright,
Okay, so that's the first one.
The time of his death.
Okay.
The only person I saw go before was Will. No one else went there. If they had, I would have seen them.
Go back to 2, and let's try the photo again.
Okay.
We can take one hit if we have to.
Okay, so the only person I saw go to the studio was Will Powers.
Mm-hmm. And present the photo.
Okay.
Because of what you don't know it's him.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Hopefully that's a good noise. Hold on. Look at this photograph one more time.
Look at this photograph. Every time I do it makes me laugh.
This photo was taken by the camera at the gate for the studios, correct? Yes, sirree, Sonny. So whenever anyone passes by here, it automatically takes a picture. And here I thought you didn't know your head from a hole in the ground.
Gross.
Right, anyway. It's also true that the computer in the guard station records all security cam data. Oh, you know, if you wanted to work at the studio, we might have an opening. That very computer printed out this photo. Note that on the back of the photo are printed the words, ah yes, photo, 2 p.m. from October 15th, photo number 2. That's the issue we were missing, is the writing on the back.
Yep.
Even I know that means it was taken at 2 p.m. on October the 15th. Really, Sonny? Actually, I knew that too. The issue here is the bit at the end where it says photo number 2. Photo number 2? The computer only held data for one photo on that day. Don't you think that's odd? Shouldn't this photo be photo 1 if it really was the only photo?
Boom!
Order, order. Please tell the court what you mean by this, Mr. Wright. Actually, that's what I want to ask the witness. This evidence shows that not 1 but 2 people went to the studio that day. Yet there is only data for one of the photos. Who could have erased the data for the other photo? Only someone with access, the security lady herself. Me, watch your mouth, whippersnapper! The only person I saw that day was Will Powers. But the camera on the gate fired twice. That means 2 people went by. Well, yes, that's what it would seem to mean. Can the witness explain this to the court? I don't understand these newfangled computer things. Edgy boy, help! Believe me, I want to, but I don't want to but I don't know what this means either. Some help you are. You're a whippersnapper too.
Ooh.
Oh. Whippersnapper? Something the matter, Miss Oldbag? That's right. I just remembered something. Let me guess. Someone else passed by the gate. Someone other than the Steel Samurai. Well, yes, I suppose you could put it that way. Sigh. Let's see. Your testimony, please. The other person. Every day after I finish my guard duties, I have one other important job to do. I go through the photos recorded on the security computer and check them. I throw out any photos that aren't suspicious looking, you see. Come to think of it, now I remember throwing out one photo that day. Miss Oldbag, this is the first I've heard of this. Well, of course, Sonny, I've only just remembered it. Right. Anyway, Mr. Wright, please begin the cross-examination. Well, I'd say this was a turn for the unexpected, but I kind of expected this. Alright, the other person. Another job. That's right, I check all the people that passed by the main gate that day. I look closely at every one of the photos that security camera takes. Do you back up all the security camera data? Well, they keep telling me to, yes. But those computers are just so frustrating. I throw out any photos that aren't suspicious looking, you see. How exactly do you determine what isn't suspicious looking? Oh, you can tell by looking at their faces for the most part. For the most part? Oh, God. This is a murder trial, Miss Oldbag. Well, I didn't touch that suspicious-looking Will Powers photo, did I? I think she's missing the point. Come to think of it, now I remember throwing out one photo that day. Well, who in the heck was in that photo you erased? A fanboy. A fanboy? Steel Samurai fanboys, real freaks if you ask me. They get information about the rehearsals from gosh knows where. They're always hanging about. One was there that day. Wait a second, did you just say no one else could get in? I locked the main gate so no one could get in. Those were your words. Well, if you must know, there's a drain that goes into the employee area. Yep. The grate has been loose for a while. It leads outside and, well, that's where they come in. They come in through the drain?
Gross.
I told you they were freaks. Oh, and they're kids, children, whippersnappers. Kids? So on the photo that you erased, it was a boy, probably 2nd or 3rd grade. What? Order. Let me get this straight. You saw 2 people pass by the gate on their way to the studios that day. One was a Steel Samurai dragging his leg. The other was a boy who looked to be in about the 2nd or 3rd grade.
How is that not suspicious?
Oh yes, we see his type there every day. Can't stop him, can't catch him. A boy in 2nd or 3rd grade. I assume it would be hard, if not impossible, for a young boy to wield the samurai spear. Impossible, I'd think. It's quite heavy. Right, as I said, I didn't pay him much mind. That's why I erased the data. Nick, what's going on? I mean, the boy was there. That makes him a suspect. Yeah, and they're already trying to unsuspect him. This court will take a 5-minute recess. I want the defense and the prosecution to consider this new information. And no forgetting vital information this time.
Alright, so we're at a recess now, I believe, in the whole thing, right?
Yeah, but we'll probably go back to court, I think. Because sometimes they do that in this game.
Yeah, I'd imagine. So, we talked to Will Powers. God, he looks so much like Sabretooth.
Yeah, Sabretooth, in like with a 70s aesthetic, too.
Yeah.
Aesthetic. Mr. Powers? Yes? Tell me straight, were you really in your dressing room? You didn't go to the studio? I didn't go to the studio, I was sleeping, honest. So who was the Steel Samurai in that security photo? How should I know? The Steel Samurai costume was off in the corner of the dressing room. Anyone could have walked in and taken it, really. What? You should take better care of that stuff.
Should he?
I couldn't imagine anyone would want to steal a Steel Samurai costume.
Really?
Hello, fanboys. So where does this leave me?
I know in the movies, what is it, like, a couple of Deadpool suits went missing from the set of the first Deadpool filming, and they're like $10,000 a piece to make.
Yeah. It doesn't look good. You're the only likely suspect right now. Nick! What are we going to do? First, we play for more time. We'll start targeting someone else that could conceivably have done this. Right. And it'll take them so long to shoot us down that we can get another day. Right, but if we pick the wrong person, we might lose on the spot. You don't sound very optimistic. I'm not optimistic at all, actually. Hey, Nick, it's time. Okay, let's go. What does that mean? Please don't sigh like that. Court will now reconvene for the trial of Mr. Will Powers. Mr. Edgeworth, will you present the prosecution's thoughts on this matter? The prosecution's thoughts are simple. Nothing has changed. The other person who went to the studio was a boy of roughly 10 years of age. The photo we do have may not be hard evidence, but there is still no one else that could have committed this crime.
There's plenty of people that could have committed this
crime. I know, right? I call for the verdict of guilty for the defendant, Mr. Will Powers. Very well, Mr. Wright, your thoughts? The defense disagrees with the prosecution's claim. There is another person who could have committed this crime. Order. Interesting. Let us hear who you have in mind. However, be aware that this court does not look kindly on accusing the innocent. If you accuse someone who is obviously innocent, you will be penalized. Right. Great. As if the stakes weren't high enough. So who was this person other than Mr. Powers that could have committed murder? The assistant, the grade school boy, or the security lady?
Well, let's review the evidence.
Yes.
The boy is just a boy.
Yeah.
It could be Penny, but we honestly don't know that much about Penny.
Yeah.
And she didn't talk about knowing that he was like limping around. The only person that did was her.
Wendy.
Was Wendy.
Yeah.
And she was so certain that Will was the culprit because of the limping.
Yeah.
And that seeing the stance, because the stance of the Steel Samurai could be anyone in that costume that's also not, accustomed to wearing it, and thusly they're walking awkwardly. So I would say it's Wendy Oldbag.
Yeah. Alright, so...
And also the boy was probably too weak to use the spear.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think we have enough power that if we get it wrong...
we can survive.
Yeah, so you want to go with Wendy?
Yeah. She also has no alibi.
Yeah. It was the security lady, Wendy Oldbag. Who? The Steel Samurai is dragging his leg in this picture. That means whoever was in the suit knew about that morning's injury. Maybe because they had been watching the action scene run through. There was only one person other than Powers and Hammer who knew about the injury. The security lady Oldbag. What? Whippersnapper? Order. Is this true, Oldbag? Oldbag? That's Miss Oldbag to you. Miss Oldbag was standing guard alone at the main gate. She was by herself. In other words, she has no alibi. She could have briefly left her post to steal the Steel Samurai costume.
Yep.
Then slipped into Studio 1, the scene of the murder. Why would she go through the trouble of wearing the Steel Samurai costume? Simple, Your Honor. She knew the camera at the gate would take her picture. If she was in his costume, she could point the finger at Mr. Powers. I see. Excellent deductive reasoning, Mr. Wright. Oh yeah, right here. Sherlock Holmes 2, baby.
That's a bit far.
That's odd. Isn't this the part where Edgeworth pounces? Doesn't he usually jump up with an objection and some new damning evidence? Well, Mr. Edgeworth, does the prosecution have an opinion on this matter? The prosecution has no meaningful objections at this time. What? What's that supposed to mean? Oh, so you all think I did it? Is that it? Edgy boy, don't just sit there. Do something. What's my move? Maybe now's my chance to take this the whole way. Press further, give Granny a break. No, we're pressing.
We pressing.
The very same reasoning that makes Mr. Powers a suspect in this case can be used to cast doubt on Miss Oldbag's actions on that day. But why would I do something so horrible to poor Hammer? You forgot that Mr. Powers lacks a clear motive too. Indeed. That did it. Now Windbag is one of the suspects.
Oldbag.
No hard feelings, I hope. Wait just a minute. What about the other person who went to the studio? The boy, the one whose photo I erased. He's only a grade schooler, as you said. 2nd or 3rd grade, was it? That doesn't matter. When I was that age, I could pin my old man in 10 seconds tops. Your thoughts, Mr. Wright? The boy is not the killer. What? How can you be so sure? Or is it to... or is it be nice to the kids and mean to your eldest day, whippersnapper? I have proof. Proof? Indeed, then let's see the proof, Mr. Wright. You have proof that shows the boy could not have committed this murder?
Alright, so we have 2 bits of evidence I think could be used. The photo is not exactly enough because that suit is, I guess, partially like hard material.
Yeah.
The security card, the kid probably wouldn't know he needs that security card.
Yeah.
And the spear is probably too big.
Yeah.
Those are the 2 I think you could possibly use.
So I'm guessing the card?
Both seem realistic
because
to me.
You would have to have the card to get into the studio. And then Wendy has that. I'm sure she has an employee card.
Yeah. Or she would know exactly what to look for to get into the studio. It's the thing. The kid could rifle through Will's dressing room all he wants, but if he doesn't know what he's looking for, then he's not going to know. Wendy will.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to present
I think it's either the card or the spear, because the kid's also too small to use the spear.
The scene of the murder, as we all know, was Studio 1. However, you need a card key to enter Studio 1. How could a boy with no formal relation to the studios have a card key? I see. Well, would the witness care to comment on this? The windbag, speechless. This has got to be a first. Very well. This court will suspend proceedings on the current trial for today. Mr. Edgeworth, please find out more about your witness, Miss Wendy. What was her name? Something Oldbag, Your Honor. And the prosecution will look further into this Oldbag before we continue. That is all. This court is adjourned. Wait a second. I'm not going to just sit here while you run off barking up the wrong tree. Me. I'm talking. Oh, great. Stop the presses. The windbag wants to talk. Miss Oldbag, what is this all about? Have you omitted something from your testimony? Actually, if you must know, there's something I was told not to talk about.
That's illegal.
Not to talk about? By whom? Huh? You mean it wasn't Edgeworth who told her not to talk? Well, testify. My lips were sealed. Global Studios wanted me to keep quiet about something. There were some other people at the studios on the day of the murder. They said they had nothing to do with it, see? So they told me to just pretend they hadn't been at the studios that day. But if you're going to go accusing me, I'm not letting them get away scot-free. Miss Oldbag, this is crucial information. Why did you keep this from the court until now? Ain't you been listening? They told me to shut my trap, and I always do what I'm told. No, this isn't a bad dream, Your Honor. Witness the power of the Oldbag. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination. Alright, that's press. Global Studios. So you were told not to talk. That's right, by the studio and the TV bigwigs, no less.
No less.
Why didn't I hear about this?
Oh, edgy poo.
Don't be too hard on yourself, Sonny. We were all in on it. There were some other people at the studios on the day of the murder. Who were these people? Well, the director and the producer, for starters. The director? We should have known something was fishy. How could they have done a run-through of their action scene without a director? Of course. Yes, well, I was surprised no one asked about it. So, where were these people? The director was in the employee area all morning for the run-through. He joined the producer around lunchtime, and they had a meeting after that. Where? Oh, in the Studio 2 trailer. Studio 2? There was a Studio 2? Well, if you look at the guide map, here it is. You go through the gate and all the way to the left. The path where the monkey's head was fallen over. Well, Mr. Wright, would you like to continue the cross-examination? I think I've already asked all my questions, but... They said they had nothing to do with it, see? Miss Oldbag, this is a trial for murder. I know that, silly. Still, they were pretty convincing about having nothing to do with it.
She was the one concealing evidence and we're silly?
And they gave me a little bonus on the side.
Oh my god.
So you got your bonus and you still talked. I think I've asked all the questions I have to ask. Want to continue? Guess there's no harm in getting as much info as I can. Okay.
This is the next one you hadn't done yet.
Okay. So they were actually in the studio? Yes, the whole day. When they heard about the murder, they beat it before the cops came. I will kill this woman, I swear it.
Jeez, Edward.
I feel sorry for Edgeworth almost. She really left him hanging on this one. But if you're going to go accusing me, I'm not letting them get away scot-free. Them? Who are these people? Well, the director and the producer, for starters. The director?
We should have known.
Okay, okay.
As 2.
Okay. Skip through this. Okay, skip.
Yeah, we meeting over at the Studio 2 trailer. I have a cat on my torso. It's making very difficult to monitor stream. Well, there's a cat on my torso.
So they told me to just pretend they hadn't been at the studios. Nick, I guess pressing her was the right thing to do. For an old windbag, she sure likes to keep secrets. Let's get as much information as we can. Global Studios wanted me to keep quiet.
I think that's everything.
Okay, there were some other people in the studio.
I think you have to press one more time and then it'll give you the option to take a break.
So just press this again, maybe?
Yeah. Well, press like one of the, like this one.
Yeah.
Because we don't have to sit through the entirety of like it was Studio 2 and blah 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 blah.
So they're actually in the studio, yes, the whole day. I'm gonna kill her. That's not cool. Okay, that didn't give me the option. Maybe I'll press a further statement back there.
Yeah.
Alright, take a break.
Yep.
Your Honor, we have learned there were others at Global Studios on the day in question. The director and the producer and some bigwigs were all present. Yet, as we stand here, they have not been questioned.
They have not.
I hold it that it is impossible to declare a verdict on the defendant, Mr. Powers. The court acknowledges the defense's point. The prosecution will gather more information about the witness, Ms. Oldbag, and more information about these other people we have just been told of. I understand, Your Honor. I'm trying not to die right now. This ends the day's proceedings in the trial of Will Powers. That is all. This court is adjourned.
I think that's,
Yeah, we'll just have a little lobby scene and then the chapter will end.
Yep.
Alright, so it's 1 o'clock. Thank you so much, Mr. Wright. I was right to ask you to defend me. Aw, really? It's nothing. Or should I? We'll be going down to the studios to do more investigating. We have to find out more about this director and producer. They'll be turning up in the next trial as witnesses for certain. So now's my chance to get material for the cross-examination. So, Nick, have we figured out just who it was in the Steel Samurai costume? Could it really have been old Windbag? What do you think, Mr. Powers? Oh, I don't think it was her, really. Neither do I, Nick. Yeah, I know. Look, I was just buying time back there. Someone had to be the bad guy for a bit to take the pressure off Mr. Powers. Poor old Windbag. I feel kind of sorry for her.
I know.
Well, she wasn't winning any points in there with or without my accusation. Okay, let's get down to the studios. Right. We'll be back to visit you soon. Thanks, guys.
Hey, Quest, thanks for popping in. You got here just at the end of the stream. How's it going, Mel? We're just now wrapping up for the evening. Thank you for jumping in, though. We do appreciate it. Mel is part of Quest for Gaming. They're doing a lot of really good stuff right now, streaming some different games, but more importantly, they're doing some charity streams to get a friend of theirs a service animal and training for the said animal, and that's just really great stuff right now. So go check out their channel and all their fantastic stuff. We will be back tomorrow for 2 streams.
Yes.
Whether or not I do the school stream in the morning, or whether or not, because I just realized I have to go talk to my advisor tomorrow morning as well.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, don't worry don't apologize. We appreciate you popping in general. But we'll be back tomorrow. I'm going to stream some Persona 5 at some point, and then we're going to continue this tomorrow evening. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be a good time. There's going to be justice for everyone.
Yeah, even though it's not super late, it's hard doing that Wendy voice and any voices, so I need to take a break. Plus, I've got summer school to actually teach, so I should probably be rested and prepared for that. So, gotta be, responsible adults.
Yep. And it's cool. We just appreciate you popping in general, Mel. It's always great to hear from you.
Yeah.
So
for anyone catching this after the fact, if you liked this video, please give us a like. If you're not subscribed already, please subscribe to our channel. We are Geek to My Nerd. Again, I'm Ashley.
And I'm Joe.
You can follow both of us on Twitter. Joe, what's your Twitter?
It's in the fancy smancy, along with some Phoenix Wright related jokes.
Oh, nice.
In the crawl at the bottom. But I'm at the Spice Must Joe.
And I'm at _Mrs. Davis.
And we're at Geek to My Nerd with underscores between each one.
Yeah.
Collectively, so you can follow either of us, any of us, all of us, whatever.
Yeah, on Twitter. We're also on Instagram as Geek to My Nerd, I think with either underscores or
periods or
some kind of designation, but it's the same.
On Kingslayer Network.
Bye.
Bye-bye now. Bye.